So I'm about to share my screen. And you should be seeing a picture now that says, welcome, haere mai. So welcome to Up Education, welcome to New Zealand. Haere mai is the Maori words for welcome. And we have there a picture of a lake in the South Island of New Zealand. And you can see there who I am and my name on the screen there. And nothing's happening. Just to remind you, hold on, I'm having technical problems here. So New Zealand. New Zealand is a country in the South Pacific, and you can see there we are some distance from Australia. We're about 3 hours flying time from Australia. And to get from New Zealand to South America is probably another 11 hours flying time. So in the previous pre-COVID world, we were regarded as being an isolated place, but in the COVID world, isolation is an advantage. And within New Zealand at the moment, we're very fortunate that life is normal at the moment. Yes, we have a border that's restricting people flying in and out of the country, but life is normal in New Zealand. We can carry on doing life exactly as we used to. And, you know, like everybody else, we're waiting for the vaccinations to start rolling out. New Zealand is a safe place to start a career. It's regarded as one of the most peaceful countries in the world. It's definitely one of the least corrupt countries in the world. And The Economist in the UK is regarded as the third best country in the world to obtain a Western style education. It is also regarded as being a fun place to explore, and it doesn't mean students who do bungee jumping every day of the week, but it's just trying to show you there are lots of different activities. That is Queenstown in the South Island, which is a tourist resort. Probably a more upmarket version in some ways than Kashmir. And Kashmir is a place I've visited a number of times. I've also been up to Ladakh. So the scenery in that part of India is very similar to what you would experience in the South Island of New Zealand. New Zealand is regarded as being a great place to study. We have strong ethnic communities. In Auckland, we are very much a multicultural society. There are a large group Indians, Chinese, Middle Eastern, Pacific Island people, European people. We are very much a multicultural society. The whole of New Zealand is only 5 million people. And if you look at the United Kingdom or UK, the UK has about 66 million people. And we have 60 million less people in New Zealand, but the area of New Zealand and the area of the UK is the same. So the focus really of this presentation is an educational pathway to New Zealand. And this is my views on what parents want for education. And I'm also a parent. I have two daughters who have been, one is successful in the New Zealand university education system, and one wasn't originally, but she is now back at university and doing extremely well. So what do parents want for their university? Generally, or for their children? They generally want the university to be a top university. If they're going to send their children overseas, they want them to go to a safe country, a place that looks after them, a place where they can get academic success, university success, and eventually employment, and hopefully residency in country. In some regards, it's like a parental superannuation scheme. Some of the reasons for studying New Zealand: we have a world-class education, and I'll cover this a bit more in detail soon. All our universities are in the top 500 of the world, and we're probably the only country in the world with all our universities in the top 500 in the world. Our qualifications are recognised, and if you end up with a bachelor's degree from a New Zealand university, you can easily move on to another university in a Western country or a non-Western country and continue your master's degree study. Once you're in New Zealand and you're at university, there's the opportunity to work part-time. And also once you graduated, there are excellent post-study work options. So a student who graduates with a 3-year degree is eligible to apply for up to a 3-year post-study work visa. And under the current rules, only people who have graduated with a degree and have done 3 years of post-study can actually apply to become a New Zealand resident. My computer's gone slow. Right, so in terms of universities, there are 8 government universities in New Zealand. There are no other universities in New Zealand. So India has private universities and government universities. New Zealand only has 8 government universities. And Up Education is fortunate to work with 3 of these universities. We work with the University of Auckland and AUT University, which are both located in Auckland. And we also work with Victoria University in Wellington, Wellington being our capital city. The University of Auckland is New Zealand's oldest and largest university. It is ranked 81 in the world, so it is a top 100 university. AUT University is a new university. It's a young university. It's only about 25 years old, but it's already ranked 437 in the world. It is regarded as being it's not as a practical hands-on university. Students tend to leave that university work ready. University of Victoria University of Wellington is in our capital city. It is ranked 233 in the world. So the program we're talking about today, a Foundation Preparation Pathway program, and I refer to this program all along as being the FPP program. And what we're essentially doing, we are preparing students to commence a pathway which goes through to foundation in New Zealand and on to university in New Zealand. The program is designed for international students, and we regard the minimum entry requirements into this program that will be delivered in India as students need to have an English level equivalent to an IELTS of 5. It doesn't mean they have to have an IELTS of 5, but they need to have an equivalence to that, and the school is able to provide that estimate. And in terms of education in India, we would expect the minimum entry as students have finished year 10 and they have 80% at least in their relevant subjects, or if they've been to an international type school that delivers IGCSE, or they would have a couple of Bs and a couple of Cs, or if they've been at a school that delivers international baccalaureate, they've met the minimum entry requirements to commence an IB, an international baccalaureate. And when I talk about relevant subjects, they are the relevant subjects at the end. So, not casting aspersions or anything else, but if a student is good in French or languages or Hindi or some religious subjects, while that's important in your own country, in terms of being admitted into this program, it's less relevant, and we're looking at the traditional type subjects. So we regard it as an intelligent curriculum. It's a focused curriculum. Students will study this program for 17 weeks of study and 1 week of exams. So when I mean by 17 weeks of study, it's a full-time course for 17 weeks and then 1 week of exams. And this is how SGI is going to deliver it as that sort of program. The program itself involves 3 parts. English for IELTS. So students who enter this program must graduate with an IELTS of 6, no bands lower than 5.5. And that is the minimum entry. It doesn't matter what other English evidence they've got. It must be in English. It must be an IELTS. There's also a compulsory subject called tertiary study skills, and that is essentially a short program that's delivered each week, which is preparing students for academic study in New Zealand. How to write essays, how to do footnotes, how to do bibliography, how to work in pairs, how to work in groups. And students need to pass that. In other words, they need to get 50%. And at the moment, we only have on offer 4 academic subjects. And students need to study 3 of those subjects. And in terms of if the students have done, in terms of maths, science, and business, our belief is, and other schools have reinforced that with us, that students who have finished year 10 in India, they will find that 70% of the new of math, science, and business is revision of what they've already done. So only 30% is new. If a student has finished the 11th year in India, I would expect them to find most of the subjects they're going to do is revision. So in terms of mathematics, it is physics and calculus